4, 3, 2, 1.
Studio Classroom is
Please stand.
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hey, welcome to Studio Classroom on the air. Your English will improve today. I hope that you believe it. My name is Gabe. You know, kids have really active imaginations, and really young kids will believe almost anything you tell them. Well, in the West, as you probably know, many kids believe a man named Santa Claus delivers presents every Christmas to good little boys and girls. The name of today's lesson is The Great Santa Claus Debate. So what's the debate exactly? Well, when is a good time to tell kids the truth about Santa Claus? What do you think? Is it okay to let your kids believe Santa exists? And for how long? Let's find out what parents Mark and Amanda think about this.
The Great Santa Claus Debate. Santa, is that you? Beginning to end, the Santa Claus story is full of magic. Reindeer on the roof, presents under the tree, and of course a jolly gentleman who seems to eat only milk and cookies. Parents in America share these traditions with their children and encourage them to believe in Santa. As kids grow up, they outgrow Santa. So when is a good time to tell them the truth? Mark and Amanda have 2 children. Their daughter Sarah is 4 years old, and their son Timothy is 7. It's December, and Timothy keeps asking his parents if Santa is real.
Hello everyone, welcome to Language Lab. I'm Jack. 我们今天要看的第一个字是形容词 jolly。jolly 也可以用来形容人的个性、情绪或是样子很开心又很快活。譬如说 Raymond is looking extra jolly today. Did he win the lottery? Raymond 今天看起来特别开心，他是不是中了乐透啊？我们也可以用 jolly 来形容场合或是气氛很愉快。譬如说Everyone had a jolly good time at the night market. 大家在逛夜市的时候都感到很愉快。Jolly 也可以形容愉快的气息或是正面的能量。例如 That kind of music is too depressing for a birthday party. We need something jollier. 在生日宴会里放那种歌太压抑了，我们需要比较快活的音乐。接下来我们来看动词 outgrow。在文章里 to outgrow 的意思是因为长大成熟而失去对某个东西的兴趣。譬如说 Karina outgrew her teenage rock star fantasies. Karina 长大后就失去她曾经梦想成为摇滚巨星的少女幻想。To outgrow 也指因为长大或是变大而无法再使用某个东西。譬如说The dance instructor's class was so popular that it outgrew the dance studio. 那位舞蹈老师的课非常受欢迎，所以教室已经无法容纳所有的学员。我们也可以用 outgrow 来指增加的量大于或是超过。譬如说 I planted some mint in my garden, but now it has outgrown everything. 我在花园里种了一些薄荷，结果它长得过大，让其他植物无法生长。
Thank you very much, Jack. Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be with you today as we talk about the Great Santa Claus Debate. My name is Rebecca.
Okay, well, here is the Great Santa Claus Debate. Right next to our title, we see this phrase here, Santa, is that you? Rebecca, when do you hear people say that phrase? Is that you? Or when have you said that before?
Well, if you think that someone might be somebody, or it looks like somebody you think it is, but then you don't know for sure if it's that person, you might say, wait, is that you? Whoever it is. You know.
Yeah, so someone might be dressed in a costume for a party or something like that, and you're not sure who it is at first, but then you take a closer look and you say, wait a minute, is that you? So that's kind of a fun phrase to know in certain situations, but Santa, is that you? Or I guess you could finish that thought with, or is that someone else, like Dad or someone that I know?
Exactly. Well, we read here the beginning of our lesson. Beginning to end, the Santa Claus story is full of magic. Now, before we continue, we would like to take a look at that phrase, beginning to end.
All right, so this is actually short for the full phrase, from beginning to end. So this is a way of saying that everything included in the story is in a certain way. So from beginning to end, the story is full of magic.
That's right. Here's another example. During the performance, the audience couldn't stop laughing, beginning to end.
And you can place this at the end of a sentence just like Rebecca did, right? So the Santa Claus story is full of magic from beginning to end. We read on here, reindeer on the roof. That's a good idea. Yeah, I used to think reindeer were fake, as in like they were only a part of the Christmas stories about Santa Claus.
Me too.
Yeah, right?
Right. I didn't think they were an actual animal.
But they are.
But they really are.
But there are just no flying reindeer, but there are actual reindeer. It's a kind of animal. Yeah, in certain parts of the world, because of the Christmas story and Santa Claus, they have, they make their reindeer to dress up in a certain way and pull things like sleighs like Santa does.
That's right. So we read reindeer on the roof, presents under the tree, and of course a jolly gentleman who seems to eat only milk and cookies. That's right. That is Santa Claus eating milk and cookies.
Yeah, traditionally, that's what he eats. People put out milk and cookies for him. He gives them presents under the tree, and then he has a treat before he goes back or to everybody else's houses. But we want to talk about something here in our lesson. There are 3 sentences here kind of used in the same way, and we want to talk about what some people call the magic of 3 or the power of 3 or the rule of 3. That is, it's a rhetorical device. It's something that we do in writing or speech to help communicate something effectively, and it's a pattern of 3, and it can be very helpful or effective.
That's right, and we actually see this in our lesson, reindeer on the roof, presents under the tree, and a jolly gentleman who seems to eat only milk and cookies. And actually, I remember as a kid, we learned that in writing class, the power of 3. And it actually is a very effective way of being able to communicate a certain feeling to your reader, to your audience.
And there are many reasons for this, psychological and other kind of reasons. But for one, it shows a pattern. It takes at least 3 things to show a pattern, but also you don't want to share too many more things. Some people say if you start sharing a lot of things, then people get skeptical about what you're sharing. But all you need is 3. There's kind of a power or magic to that. And again, it's great for writing and for giving a speech. Friends, we want to jump down to something at the end of this section. It's December, and Mark and Amanda's son Timothy keeps asking his parents if Santa is real. They keep asking. That means he is consistently doing something or constantly doing that.
For example, after Joe got back from his run, he kept drinking and drinking and drinking. He was so thirsty.
All right, well, think of another way to use that word, keeps. He keeps doing something. Well, we want to learn a little bit more about Santa Claus right now in
the Info Cloud.
Hello, friends. Welcome to InfoCloud. Rex, did you ever dream of meeting Santa Claus when you were a kid?
Of course, but like most people, I grew out of the fantasy and figured out Santa Claus was just a fictional character.
Well, not quite. The legend of Santa Claus is actually built around a monk named Saint Nicholas from the 3rd century.
Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus. I hear a little resemblance in the names. So who was this Saint Nicholas?
Legend says that Saint Nicholas inherited a great amount of wealth and spent it all by helping the poor and the sick in the area called Patara in modern-day Turkey.
Wow. So how did Saint Nicholas become the Santa Claus that we know about today?
Well, some Dutch families in New York came together in the late 18th century and started to celebrate St. Nicholas's death. St. Nicholas in Dutch is Sinterklaas.
So in America, St. Nicholas became this legendary figure who gives out gifts on Christmas Eve to children around the world.
That's the brief version of the origin of the Santa Claus legend. There are different versions and even different kinds of Santa characters in different parts of the world, but the American version is the most popular.
相信许多人都知道 Santa Claus 圣诞老人的传说，在每年的圣诞夜，他都会在小朋友们睡着的时候，将礼物放在圣诞袜里面，祝福全世界的小孩。圣诞老人的传说起源于第3世纪现代土耳其地区的一个修道士 Saint Nicholas 圣尼可拉斯的生命故事。据传 Saint Nicholas 为了帮助穷人和病患，将自己所继承的财富全部散尽，完全将自己所拥有的一切奉献给世人。到了18世纪末，美国纽约地区的一些荷兰裔家庭开始庆祝 Saint Nicholas 逝世的纪念日。荷兰文的 Saint Nicholas 就是 Sinterklaas， 在美国就变成家喻户晓的传奇人物 Santa Claus 圣诞老人。这就是今天的 InfoCloud， 我们下次云端见。
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hey, welcome back to Studio Classroom. Okay, we're learning today about the great Santa Claus debate. That is, how soon should you tell kids about the truth of Santa Claus, that he doesn't exist? Here's a little quiz for you. Which word or phrase that we talked about earlier means that someone used to do something, but now they're too old for it? They don't do it anymore. We use the word outgrow. A lot of kids in the West believed in Santa Claus when they were younger, but they kind of outgrow that belief when they get older. Well, let's join Mark and his wife as they discuss how soon they should tell their child about Santa Claus.
The Great Santa Claus Debate.
I don't think Timothy is ready to hear that Santa isn't real. He loves all of our different Christmas traditions, especially the Santa stuff.
Of course he does. It's magical for him. But now he's asking questions.
So, he's only 7. He's too young to learn that stories about Santa are just fiction. I don't want to upset him right before Christmas.
I don't think Timothy is the one who isn't ready, Mark.
What do you mean?
I think you're the one who isn't ready.
Magical 是一个形容词，意思是很神奇或是奇妙的，就好像在变魔术一样。 我们来看例句。Melanie loved the show. Everything seemed so magical on the stage. Melanie 非常喜欢那场表演，台上所有表演的一切都让她感到很奇妙。或是 Vicky thought her vacation would be fun and magical, but then everything turned into a disaster. Vicky 以为她的旅行会很好玩又很美妙，结果一切都变调成了一场灾难。Magical 也可以用来形容与魔法或魔术有关的，譬如说 In the story, a mysterious boy shows up in a town and he has strange magical powers. 在故事里，一位神秘的小男孩突然出现在小镇，而且他有奇异的神奇魔法。最后我们要看的字是动词 upset。在文章里 to upset 的意思是让人感到难过、不高兴，或是让人觉得很烦。譬如说 Don't tell Jennifer the news, it will upset her. 不要让 Jennifer 知道消息，她听了会不高兴。To upset 也有打翻的意思，譬如说 Who would have expected the bride to upset her own wedding cake during the reception? 谁会预料到新娘子会在喜宴中把自己婚礼蛋糕给弄翻了？我们可以用 upset 来指造成不适，譬如说Marie can't eat cheese. It will upset her stomach. Marie 不能吃起司，那会造成她肠胃的不适。Okay, let's get back to our teachers.
Thank you very much, Jack. That was magical. So the idea, of course, that Mark and Amanda are talking about is whether they should tell their 7-year-old son that Santa is actually not real. Mark says, I don't think Timothy is ready to hear that Santa isn't real. He loves all of our different Christmas traditions, especially the Santa stuff.
Especially the Santa stuff. We would like to take a look at that phrase, the something stuff. What exactly is this referring to?
Yeah, what's that all about? Sometimes that word stuff is just used in a very vague or unclear way, right? Well, the Santa stuff is kind of a fun way of referring to the things or ideas that have to do with the noun in that sentence pattern. So, the Santa stuff, the things that have to do with Santa.
That's right. For example, you could say that, well, Betty doesn't really like holidays. She tries to avoid holidays as much as she can, and she really doesn't like talking about all that Christmas stuff.
Okay, so she doesn't like the Christmas holiday especially, right? None of that Christmas stuff. Well, Amanda says, of course he does. He loves those Christmas traditions, the Santa stuff. It's magical for him, but now he's asking questions.
Asking questions. I wonder what kind of questions he's asking. Maybe, is Santa real? Is Santa going to give me presents? Does Santa know what I want for Christmas?
We wanted to talk about this phrase, asking questions, because it might make you think of a teacher in a classroom who welcomes questions from students, right? Oh, you can ask a question. He asked a question. She asked a question. Well, the teacher might invite people to ask questions by saying, do you have any questions? But in our lesson, it's a little bit different. Their son is actively asking questions about things. The parents are not inviting these questions, but their son seems to be doubtful about certain things. That's why he's asking questions.
That's right. So Amanda had said, of course he does. It's magical for him. But now he's asking questions. And Mark says, so he's only 7. He's too young to learn that stories about Santa are just fiction.
Okay, well, let's take a look at that word bank word fiction. This is used to describe stories that are made up, or they're not real. And sometimes we can say a character in a story that's not real is a fictional character.
That's right. So you could enjoy reading books that are fiction, or perhaps you enjoy reading books that are nonfiction. And of course, if a book is nonfiction, that means that it is true. It's a true story.
That's right. Nonfiction is true. If it's fiction, it's not true. And the word fiction is not the same as the word lie. A lie can actually cause harm to somebody if they believe it. But when you know you're reading fiction, you know you're reading a story that is not true. Like Anne of Green Gables. It's a It's a work of fiction, but it's a fun one, right? Well, Santa Claus is a fictional story. Mark says, I don't want to upset him right before Christmas. I get from this line that the kinds of questions that their son is asking are really questions that express doubt, and perhaps he wants to know if Santa is real.
So Amanda says, I don't think Timothy is the one who isn't ready, Mark. Mark says, what do you mean?
Amanda says, I think you're the one who isn't ready. And it's true, some parents are not ready for their kids to grow up and do away with their childish beliefs about things. It could be difficult or challenging to communicate with your kids about certain things. Well, today, right now, it's time for the SC Challenge.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's SC Challenge, where, of course, we always have a lot of fun. Well, let's go ahead and meet today's players.
Hey everyone, I'm David. Are you guys ready?
Hi everyone, my name is Manya, and it's always great to be here on SC Challenge.
Okay, well today our SC Challenge is Guess the Word. I'm going to describe some words from today's lesson, and we're going to see which of our players can guess the word first. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes, and of course we invite you to play along. The very first word is used to describe someone who loses interest. Well, when you lose interest in an idea, as you get older, you can use this word. So as you get older, you lose interest in something, or maybe you're wearing clothes when you're younger. As you grow, you can no longer wear those clothes. What word is used to describe this? It's like, when you're younger, you could wear these clothes, but now you can't anymore because you're too big. Yes. What do you think, Manya? I see you trying to hit that bell.
I don't know.
You don't know. David, go ahead and try it.
Worn out?
Not worn out. You grow.
You're outgrown?
That is correct, Manya. You outgrow. Excellent. 1 point for Manya. Okay. Next word, a little bit easier. This is the animal that is known to pull Santa's sleigh. The animal that is known to pull Santa's sleigh. Yes, David.
All right, is this the reindeer?
That is correct, a reindeer. 1 point for Manya, 1 point for David. This is the tiebreaker. Last word. This word describes a story that is written about something that isn't true. Something that isn't true. What word can you use to describe a story? Yes, Manya?
False?
False, that is not the word I'm thinking of. Yes, David?
Yes, I think it's fiction.
Fiction! That is correct! Good job. Well, David has 2 points. Manya has 1. So today, David is our winner. Well, thank you so much for playing. And of course, friends, thank you for joining us. We will see you next time.
I'm sure you did a great job with that SC Challenge. And if you would like another challenge, how about checking out that Rapid Review GEPT on page 58 of your magazine? Well, we're not through with this conversation yet, this great Santa Claus debate. We're going to continue learning about what Mark and Amanda have to say about this next time right here on Studio Classroom. See you then.
A good friend lasts a lifetime. I am so proud to have you in my life. A good friend lasts a lifetime.